Hey, everybody. Welcome to Verified Investing. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Now, in today's video, we're going to go over Bitcoin, the technical levels only, right? No nonsense, no BS, just charts and probabilities. And that will give us an idea of what levels to look for, where Bitcoin can break out, what could be the next target, or if Bitcoin turns down, where will be the subsequent support. So let's dive into the chart here and take a look. And what we see is Bitcoin, again, has bounced off technical support right here. Now, this is the amazing thing about it is, number one, you had a topping tail right here. Now, topping tails are bearish reversal signals. So if we go back to July 14th, the topping tail told me that eventually Bitcoin was going to have a little bit of a pullback or dump. And that's exactly what it did. In fact, the topping tail right here had multiple weeks of bearish consolidation. Now, a lot of people will look at this and say, oh, that's bullish, right? Because you have a flagpole up and then this consolidation. But in technical analysis, you always take the most recent pattern signal or formation, which was the bearish reversal signal. So notice the choppy sideways action occurred off the topping tail. This is a bearish signal, so this would be a bear flag. And look at what happened. It broke down beautifully. Where did it go? It went to about this 111,800 level because that was your previous highest pivot. And that's how support and resistance works, right? Is that essentially your highest pivot prior, in which case we were consolidating, breakout, that now becomes support. And you can see we bounced off beautifully. Now, there is resistance here. We've climbed above it, but you're still now into all this sideways chop. So that, as a Bitcoin investor, is something that you must monitor very, very closely. In other words, all this chop creates kind of this cobweb sideways action where it is going to be resistance. And Bitcoin has pushed above the lower end of that, but it is still inside of this range. Now, if Bitcoin can push above basically 120,000, it has a chance to retest the topping tail high at 123,200. Now, that's your bogey. That is your level that if you can get a daily close above it, it negates this pattern or this candlestick bearish reversal signal, the topping tail, and you're basically free to make another major move up. Now, what could be an upside target on this? Well, just generally looking at this, I would go with more of what we would call a parallel channel. So if we look at this and we can see here, we have an up sloping area here. And again, if we drag that up, I would dare say you have a good shot of making a move all the way up to about 136 to 140,000, right up in this range, depending on where it hits along the line, obviously, as the line is ascending. So notice you're basically within a parallel channel now. Notice also how when we came down here, we were right at the underbelly of this trend line as well. And that gave us that additional support. And so in terms of biases, let's talk straight probabilities. Right now, probabilities are favoring a down move or resistance because we must respect this zone and the topping tail high. However, if we eclipse 123,200, now that bigger up move can come. And I do think you would get that possibly as high as, again, 136 to 140,000 on Bitcoin. Now, on the other side, if we were to come down, take this line out and 111,800, you're looking at 107,600. Now, that is a descending former trend line, high pivot to high pivot to high pivot. And that would be your next major support where you would anticipate a bounce. The other thing to note is also that as this line comes down, eventually it's going to come down into this area. And that would, again, just be a huge amount of support. So right now, short term, and this is very important, guys, short-term bias on Bitcoin is slightly favoring the downside, even though it's pushing up. A lot of people's emotion will be getting the best of them here, and they're saying, oh, it's going to break out, it's going to break out. And it may, but remember, we must respect resistance until it's broken. So bias short-term is neutral to negative, we'll call it, versus, again, mid to long-term, you're still in a very good uptrend on Bitcoin, and that can continue to propel it mid to long term up. Remember, short term is over the next couple weeks to maybe month. Midterm is beyond that. Long term, obviously, beyond that, out multiple years. And again, all of those are still very bullish. The near term, again, is the one that we're monitoring here, which tells us that we could still see a short term rollover in price and it could come down. So when all is said and done, guys, I'm here to guide you based on charts. It might not be what you want to hear all the time, but it is based on probability, which is given to me by looking at the charts, looking at the price, pattern, and time formations. They tell me something. It's like translating a foreign text into words that we all can understand. And then we get essentially to know what's the favored near-term price action and also what's the longer-term price action favored as well. Near term, slightly bearish. Mid to long term on Bitcoin is still bullish. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Don't forget, feel free to come to Verified Investing and sign up for Smart Money Crypto. In Smart Money Crypto, I give out exact entries and exits, both long and short, on the top 50 cryptos. We have the altcoin edge within that service as well, which does the beyond top 50, so the smaller caps. We also have the hodler in there, which is all about the coins to buy to hodl and the returns that can be generated by staking. So lots of alpha in this service, Smart Money Crypto. Come to Verified Investing and check it out. My name again, guys, is Gareth Soloway, and I am the Chief Market Strategist here at VerifiedInvesting.com. Take care.